Hello, I'm Loda Smits for the Finance News Network, and joining me from Thor Mining is its Chairman and CEO, Mick Billing. Mick, welcome back to FNN.
Hi Lilda, thanks for talking to me once again.
Now, Mick, Thor Mining has just upgraded the feasibility study at your wholly owned Molyhil tungsten mine in the Northern Territory. What are the key points?
Lilda, I think what we've done with Molyhil, with the release of this study, is to present it as something that has a pretty compelling financial case. We think that the economic results at Molyhil now are well and truly worth pursuing and are pretty exciting. We've got a net present value of 67 million Aussie. This thing pays back capital for development within 18 months of operation, and will have quite low operating costs compared with current prices and/or prices that people would expect us to receive right through the life of the operation.
Fantastic. And what is the project's anticipated mine life, and how much capex will be needed to fund it?
The project currently has a mine life of 6 years. We expect that can continue. Certainly there's plenty of potential upside, but the ore reserve gives us a 6-year life at the moment, and that's got a capex of 70 million Aussie, about 58 million US, depending on the exchange rate. And while that shouldn't be sneezed at, it's a relatively modest outlay for a project of this nature.
Right, so what are the regulatory hurdles you need to clear before work can commence?
Well, this project is substantially permitted. Not completely, but substantially. All the environmental work and the sign-off by the Environmental Protection Agency has been done, and that does not have to be redone. We have an agreement with the traditional owners to operate the mine and operate in the area, and we're pretty happy with that, and I hope they are as well. There is some other minor permitting to do, including an annual MMP, which is the short for a mining management plan, that has to be done. We have one of those in the system. There's some iteration going on between us and the Northern Territory Department on that, and that'll take a little while, but it is the last hurdle.
Certainly. So, Mick, what's your timeline for securing finance, starting engineering studies, and completing permitting?
Well, a lot of the engineering study work is complete, but some detail work still needs to happen, and for that we will need to have finance locked in. I'm assuming that it'll take about 6 months to get the finance for this project. I can't lock in a specific date because we're relying on others to commit to supplying money, and they do that in their own time, of course. But if we were to assume that finance was locked in by, say, June of this year, we would be able to commence those some of that detailed engineering work, and but we would also commence site works, and we would be in production within 12 months of that finance being locked in.
Okay, thanks for the update on Molyhil Tungsten Mine. Now, the company purchased the Pilot Mountain Tungsten Project in September of last year. What has occurred since the acquisition?
Since then, Lilda, we've been going through a bunch of historical work and getting a better feel for the resource and its potential than we were able to do prior to that. And we've spent a lot of time now coming to grips with what this could be, and we're pretty excited by it. There is an existing resource of about 6.8 million tonnes at about just over 0.3% tungsten with a bit of copper and silver. And that's okay, but particularly in Nevada, where we believe operating costs will be fairly modest compared with Central Australia, for example. But importantly, we think there's an enormous amount of exploration upside there. This was a project that was being explored actively during the 1970s, and that was stopped relatively abruptly when the tungsten market collapsed in the late 1970s. But there was a lot of work done leading up to that time, some of which has not been included in the resource estimate we have. We think there's a fair chance that this resource could grow to somewhere between 20 and 30 million tonnes all up. And that would then take it into a tungsten deposit of global significance.
Great. And final question, what are Thor Mining's main priorities for the year ahead?
Lilda, our main task has to be Molyhil. We have to get that financed and we have to get that development started. We have other projects that we like, and Pilot Mountain is certainly one of those. But our principal focus has to be Molyhil, and it's head down, tail up, and working non-stop at getting that financed as quickly and as practically as we can.
Excellent. Well, Mick Billing, thank you for the update from Thor Mining.
Thanks very much.